A thread by Carlos Oswita. I just realized what leftists have turned leftist cities into. Robocop. Here we have the pretend police chief of Seattle giving us another travelogue from hell and then imploring urban terrorists to change their ways. What happened before the pretend Seattle police declared a riot? Terrorists broke into a construction site and set 5 trailers on fire. The terrorists destroyed cars for several blocks and broke store windows for several blocks. The terrorists set a coffee shop on fire, requiring the evacuation of the occupied apartments above. The terrorist blew an 8-inch hole in the wall of the targeted police station using a military-grade explosive. That's when the police declared a riot. The terrorists refused to disperse and showered the cops with explosives, rocks, and bottles, injuring 59. Terrorists went onto the tops of apartment buildings and threw cinder blocks down at the cops, but the cops kept their promise and did not use tear gas. The urban terrorism went on for hours. All I could think of was Robocop. They needed a cyborg cop because the corrupt government allowed criminals to rule the city. I don't feel sorry for Seattle. They worked very hard to arrive at this point in their ridiculous history. That which has no will to survive won't. I hear people on the radio say they can't move because they've been there 30 years. Well, I've been here for 30 years and I'm hauling my aching carcass to Las Vegas as soon as the pandemic allows it. The city is ruined. It's not the same place I loved to visit and live in. That's just reality. Guess what the new hotness is? Morbidly obese bikers on Harleys with no mufflers playing hip hop at 150 decibels. It's illegal, but the cops don't care. One hugely fat, angry, impotent man who from behind looks exactly like a sea turtle standing on its butt, making more noise than an infantry squad engaged in a firefight. That kind of antisocial behavior was unthinkable 30 years ago, but now it's the norm here. I'm not spending my declining years in Robocop world. There's no quality of life here, so why should I be loyal? The past exists only in memories. I live in the present. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Robert Frost. When a situation is no longer tenable, you change it. California is no longer the Golden State. Time to skedaddle. I lived in Tyler, Texas from 1972 to 1975. Driving back from Massachusetts in 2001, I stopped in Tyler. It may as well have been Islamabad, Pakistan. I recognized nothing whatsoever. The old house was invisible behind a giant hedge. The radio was playing John Boy and Billy. For half an hour, they were pretending to put things up their butts. Pineapples, dogs, chainsaws. They had a laughing sidekick who sounded like this. Link in the description, guys. Check it out. In 1972, even homeless people would have been shocked that John Boy and Billy had a big popular radio show. But times change. It's not 1972 anymore, and I don't pine for the good old days. These days are good. I have movies and music I like, and I have no interest in taking part in what most people call entertainment. I haven't watched television in 16 years. I don't even have a TV. My life is almost purely internal. I spend most of my time thinking. You can't save people or cities or states that are determined to commit suicide no matter what, especially now when they think that committing suicide will somehow upset President Trump. It takes much more strength to live and improve than to give up and die, especially when you don't even know you're committing suicide. You're so blinded by pathological hate that you're in a permanent state of frenzy. Montgomery Clift was a great actor and a totally messed up person. When the actress Nancy Walker was going to be introduced to him, they told her, "Monty never eats, so you always have to remind him to eat." Here's what Walker said when she met Monty. "Your friends told me that you never eat, and I'm supposed to remind you to eat. Listen, if you don't want to eat, then fall down." He cracked up, and they became best friends until his death. If leftists don't want to eat, then they can all fall down. It's not my problem.